Last week, the well-known arcade and restaurant chain Dave & Buster's announced that they're now starting to offer season passes, which puts them in such esteemed company as theme parks like Disneyland, Six Flags, or SeaWorld. Their initial offering is the Winter Season Pass, which advertises unlimited gameplay through February 28th for one flat price. But is it actually worth it? Part 1. The Pass. Before I get started, I just want to mention this. I paid out of my own pocket for the Platinum version of the Winter Season Pass to try it out, see how it works, and eventually make this video outlining its pros, its cons, and everything in between. In other words, this video has not been sponsored by Dave & Buster's, no promotional consideration has been given, and all opinions are my own and should be treated as such. So, last Thursday, November 21st, I received a text message from Dave & Buster's. It read as follows. Unwrap unlimited gameplay, exclusive deals, and more for less than $20 a month with the Winter Season Pass. Unlimited gameplay? Winter Season Pass? Clicking the link in the text message took me to their webpage, which gave me some more details on the program. The website reads, Secure your pass today. The Winter Season Pass is here to give you VIP access to a whole world of unlimited gameplay and exclusive discounts now through February 28th. Sounds cool. Only available at select locations. It then lists all the locations that it is available at, presumably as a test run. It includes 7 of their stores in Florida, 15 in Texas, 12 in New York, hey, now we're getting closer, and 2 in New Jersey, including my nearest Dave & Buster's, the one in Woodbridge Center. Okay, well, it sounds like I'll have to give it a shot. Select your pass. Oh, we've got levels. Silver Winter Season Pass, $69.99 each. Silver Pass includes unlimited gameplay and daily 10% off food and beverages. Okay, I mean, that's not a bad price to pay for 3 full months of unlimited games? Alright, what else we got? Gold Winter Season Pass, $99.99 each. Gold Pass includes unlimited gameplay, daily 20% off food and beverages, up to 1,000 tickets per week, plus a weekly $5 food and beverage voucher. Valid on weekends. Wait a minute. If this one says it's valid on weekends, I guess that means the Silver Pass isn't? Also, up to 1,000 tickets per week? Does that mean you won't earn any tickets off the games you play with Silver? Best value. Platinum Winter Season Pass, $149.99 each. Here we go. What do we have here? Unlimited gameplay, yeah. Daily 30% off food and beverages. Kinda saw that coming. Up to 2,000 tickets per week. Hey, that's double the Gold Pass. Plus weekly $5 food and beverage voucher. I guess that didn't go up. Valid every day. Wait, what the hell does that mean then? If the gold one says it's valid on weekends, and this one says valid every day, then what days are the silver passes actually good for? Compare our passes. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the Platinum Winter Season Pass means it's valid on holidays. I guess those dates must be blocked out for the lower level passes, and sure enough, clicking on the silver or gold passes brings up a laundry list of those restrictions. For the silver winter pass, it says outright that gameplay does not earn tickets. Like, at all. Tickets are off the table with this pass. Also, it's not valid on weekends, starting at 5 p.m. on Fridays and lasting through the close of business on Sunday night. They also black out specific holidays, most likely when kids have off from school. The holiday break from December 26th through January 1st is a no-go. Then January 17th through the 20th, the pass can't be used for MLK Day. And February 15th through 17th is also blacked out for President's Day. The Gold Pass removes the weekend restrictions, but keeps the holiday blackout dates. Platinum Pass is the one with the least restrictions, as you can use it any day of the week, anytime from now through February 28th. As a father with 2 children, I feel like the blackout dates are kind of a deal breaker for me, so I'm going to choose the Platinum Pass. Ultimately, it comes out to about $10 a week, which honestly isn't that bad, and the fact that you can still earn some tickets with it is just extra icing on the cake. But just for the heck of it, before we make any decisions, let's take a quick look through the terms and conditions before we commit to this, just to see if there's anything else we should know. Promotional, limited time only, must be a Dave & Buster's Rewards member to purchase. Photo ID matching purchaser's name required upon redemption. Full pass price due day of original purchase. No problem. To redeem your Winter Season Pass, you must present the QR code found in your Dave & Buster's Rewards app or in the email confirmation to a team member in store. With each subsequent visit, you must recharge your Winter Pass Power Card in order to receive your unlimited gameplay and $5 voucher. Recharge fees do not apply. Unlimited gameplay not valid with VR, crane games, or merchandising games. 30% discount and $5 voucher not available on alcohol or valid with promotions like all-you-can-eat wings, $5 late-night bites, so on and so forth. Tickets earned on redemption games will be capped at $2,000 per week. Passes are per person and not to be shared or transferred. Passes must be purchased online, in-store, at a kiosk, or through the Dave & Buster's Rewards app only. Select stores only. See stores for detail. Okay, got it. Part 2. My experience. So, after settling on getting the Platinum Pass, I decided to make a trip up to one of the locations I hadn't personally visited yet. On Friday, I made the 2.5-hour drive up from New Jersey to the capital of New York, Albany, and I visited the Crossgates Mall. Yeah, I mean, they had a lot more arcades than just Dave & Buster's, and maybe that played a factor into my choice, but I digress. When they opened up at 11 a.m., I walked in, ready to purchase the Platinum Pass. Except, no one was at the front desk. Oops. I ended up heading over to the Winner's Circle instead and spoke with someone at the counter, where then I was informed that the Winter Season Pass is an online-only promotion. Okay, what does that mean? It means that I literally can't purchase the thing that they're advertising all over the place in the store. That technically was in the terms and conditions where it said you can only purchase online, in the app, or in-store through a kiosk. I mean, the kiosk wasn't mentioned as a possibility, but whatever. So, I pulled up the website on my phone, took a seat over at the Star Trek coin pusher, and I clicked through a few times until I got the notification that the purchase was successful. And within a minute, I received both a text message saying, "Ready to win? Access your Winter Season Pass in our Rewards app," as well as an email with all the details of the transaction. So I opened up the app, but I couldn't find anything anywhere about the Season Pass. There was a little ad for it up near the top, but clicking that just took you to the page to purchase it. So, I asked at the counter what I was supposed to do now, and they said, "Well, did you get the QR code?" No, I didn't get anything. There wasn't any QR code to scan in the app, there wasn't any QR code in the email, so we ended up trying a few different things. I logged out of the app and then back in again. I force quit the app. I changed my home store from Woodbridge to Albany, then I force quit the app, and then I logged out and in again. Nothing. They asked me multiple times, "Are you sure you actually purchased it?" Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, considering I got the text message and the email. So I opened up the email to look once more and make sure that there was no QR code. But it wasn't until the third read-through that I saw a single line saying, "Passes, click here." So I did, and it brought me to a separate webpage that, yeah, you guessed it, it had the missing QR code. Whoops. So they scanned it and then issued me a new generic power card. That's right, there's no special power card for this, you just get whatever you get. The last thing they mentioned was that every time I visit and want to take advantage of the unlimited gameplay, I need to see an employee and have them scan the QR code and recharge the card for the day. Okay, no problem. Let's give it a shot and see how it goes. The first game I tried out was Pong Knockout, just because it was the closest game to the Winner's Circle desk. I scanned the power card, and it scanned in no problem. Gave me the enjoy your game message, the scanner flashed yellow then green, and it gave me a credit. Off and away. One of the other things that I noticed it said, instead of the amount of chips remaining on your card, it said how many minutes of unlimited free play were left. In this case, it was about 3,700 or so minutes, which, doing the math, comes out to like another 2.5 days. So I wonder if that means that I won't actually need to recharge it next time. Next up, I tried a game where I could earn some tickets. I went over to one of my favorites, Guardians of the Galaxy, and gave it a shot. Scanned in just fine. Since it was still pretty early in the day, the train hadn't been filled up yet, so I needed to drop some orbs and get ready to hit that jackpot. And this is the first spot where I ran into one of the major limitations of the Winter Season Pass, and that's the timed cooldown period. See, every time you successfully scan your power card, it starts a 60-second clock until it can be used again. And I get it, this discourages people from just loading up games with as many credits as possible, or scanning it on one machine, then another down the line, and so on, but for games like this, where your average game time is about 10 seconds, waiting out another 50 seconds for your next try felt like an eternity. I eventually managed to hit the jackpot, but it took me about 10 minutes. And to its credit, I did earn all of those tickets onto my power card. Let's see what other games we can play on. How about Angry Birds Coin Crash? I love building those towers and knocking them down. Well, here comes more of the same. The timed cooldown is even more of a factor over here, because every swipe gives you 10 tokens, but then you have to wait a minute before you can add more. But the game auto-shoots a token if you don't press a button about every 20 seconds. So by the time I added my second swipe, I only had 17 tokens left in the reserves. I ended up swiping it enough to get up to 40 tokens before getting frustrated with it and just going for it. And wouldn't you know it, I ended up in the tower builder mode. Okay, great, perfect time to try and swipe and add more coins. But what's that? I'm locked out? Okay, guess I'm not doing that. Ultimately, I managed to knock over one tower and I ended up getting almost 1,000 tickets out of that, which put me close to the 2,000 ticket limit. And sure enough, out of all of that, once I got to exactly 2,000 tickets, it just stopped counting any new ones. I went to test it out on a few other non-ticket games. Some of them just flat out wouldn't work. For example, Minecraft Dungeons. It turns out that game would just give you a message saying, "Sorry, not enough chips to play." The same thing was true on both of the fighting games, Marvel Contest of Champions and Injustice. The Winter Pass would not scan on either of those games as well. It turns out all three of these games had a purple swiper, which means they get counted as merchandising games in the system, one of the three categories that are explicitly excluded from the unlimited gameplay. It seems anything that gives out a physical object of any sort is counted as a merchandising game, and in this case, all three of the games give out collectible trading cards when you play. So, no completing those collections on the Season Pass. Other games with blue swipers, ones where you don't get any physical prizes or any tickets, work just fine. For example, the House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn, the most recent edition of the classic Sega shooting game. The minute-long cooldown wasn't an issue, and I managed to get pretty far in off of a few swipes before moving on to something else. Surprisingly, although the details specifically excluded VR games, I was surprised to see that the new Godzilla Kaiju Wars VR game worked without any issues. It had a blue swiper instead of the same purple swiper that I saw in the Star Wars VR game, and testing it out, sure enough, I was able to load in a credit and start blasting away. This game is a ridiculous amount of fun and might be my favorite of the different VR games I've played to date. So, for the most part, outside of some growing pains, everything worked fine on day one. I got about 3 hours of gameplay in and maxed out the weekly ticket limit right away. But I decided to give it another shot on day 2 by taking my daughter to our local spot in Woodbridge on Saturday. We went up to the counter to do the recharge and had no problem. We did one quick game, testing it out on Super Monkey Ball. Everything seemed to work fine, but when we checked the app, we found out that the 2,000 tickets from yesterday had straight up disappeared from our account, and it was replaced by the 10 that we had just won off the Monkey Ball game. Thankfully, the manager on duty was able to restore our missing tickets, but it was surprising to see something like that happen. We continued playing throughout the day, and for games where we were supposed to earn tickets, the swiper would read, "Just for fun, no tickets awarded." But we didn't end up being locked out of anything except for those ones with purple swipers. We went pretty deep in Space Invaders Frenzy, my daughter played a little bit of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, and overall we had a good time. We also tested out one of the other benefits from the Season Pass, the discount on food. We headed over to the restaurant with a single Taste for Tickets coupon from the Winner's Circle, since my daughter decided she wanted some pretzel dogs for lunch. I ended up ordering a crispy chicken sandwich with a Sprite, and she treated herself to a cherry icy. When the bill came, I mentioned the Winter Season Pass and its included discounts, and so the waitress took my phone to scan the QR code and came back with the revised bill. Imagine my shock when the original total went from $38.46 all the way down to $4.20. No joke. I saw the receipt and frankly, I still don't understand it. I'm not complaining about it though. We ended up tipping $10 on a $4 bill and it ended up being a cheaper lunch for the two of us than just about anywhere else we could go. The last thing I wanted to do was to check out and see how the Season Pass works, if it works at all, at locations that were not explicitly taking part in the promotion. On Sunday, we ended up checking out the Dave & Buster's in White Marsh, Maryland. Yeah, that's right. I did 3 different places, 3 different states, on 3 different days. Walking in and attempting to scan my card on one random green swipe machine resulted in the no chips message. I spoke to the manager on duty and inquired about recharging the Winter Season Pass. They didn't seem super familiar with the program, but after showing them the website, they attempted to recharge it, to no luck. So officially, it seems that using it at any location outside of the couple dozen currently listed on the website is not possible. However, they did hook us up with 1 complimentary hour of unlimited gameplay, which was very kind on their part, and I can't stress this enough, not something that was either expected nor asked for. I wouldn't go into any out-of-state location expecting the season pass to work unless they specifically expand the amount of stores that it's available in during the span of the winter pass. Part 3. Who is it for, and is it worth it? Let's be pretty honest. There's a lot of different types of people that go to Dave & Buster's, and for some of them, this pass will be more valuable than others. So, first things first, let's talk about who this pass is pretty explicitly not for. If you're a rhythm gamer, this pass is not for you. Most Dave & Buster's locations have at least one of 3 different dance games: Dance Dance Revolution, Pump It Up, or Step Maniacs. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there's a few categories of games that are explicitly excluded. Those are crane games, merchandising games, and VR games. And although there are some VR games that work, like Godzilla, for some reason, all of the dance games do not. Even though they don't give out any physical objects, they're running on the same purple swiper system as games like Minecraft Dungeons, or the Star Trek Coin Pusher, or the Blinking or Grab and Win crane games. Trying to swipe your season pass on DDR will give you the same 0.0 chips message you'll get for the other games. While it's not an explicit omission in the terms and conditions, I feel like it's unlikely to change anytime in the near future. I honestly expect that they'd update the terms and conditions before they change these games off of purple swipers. With that being said, if the only rhythm game you play is Guitar Hero, then yeah, go nuts. If you're a ticket hoarder, such as, say, Arcade Matt, this pass is not for you. Let's just break it down by the numbers, okay? We have 15 weeks of gameplay here, with a maximum of 2,000 tickets per week. Assuming you don't spend any of the tickets until the end of the promotion and you max out the tickets every week, this is good enough to get you some of the smaller prizes, but none of the really valuable big ticket items. No iPads, no Xboxes, none of that stuff. And although there might be some ways to use this pass as a utility card to set up games for jackpots, and then use a different power card to swoop in and claim the jackpot, it's going to be a trade-off on time. Do you really want to spend the 60-second cooldown just standing around doing nothing but waiting for that next swipe? Most high-level players that go for tickets could probably walk out of here with 50,000 tickets in their pocket by the time you've managed to swipe in on, say, Zombie Snatcher a dozen times. If you're a plushie collector, like, let's say, Plush Time Wins, again, this pass is not for you. Once again, you can't use it on any of the crane games or merchandising games, so quite literally, it's useless if that's the only thing you're going to Dave & Buster's for. If you're someone who doesn't like the variety of games that Dave & Buster's has, this pass is not for you. I mean, it shouldn't need to be said, but if you're someone who absolutely hates modern games, never plays redemption games, only likes old retro games and pinball machines, then you're probably going to have a bad time at Dave & Buster's, whether or not you buy the pass. If you're someone who doesn't live within a reasonable drive of one of the currently participating stores, this pass is not for you. Sorry, California. Sorry, Ohio. On a similar note, even if you live nearby but you can't commit to going on a regular basis to take full advantage of the unlimited gameplay and the food discounts, it's also probably not for you. If you're someone who's going to buy it, visit once, and then completely forget about it until the promotion ends, it's not going to be a straight-up bad deal, but you definitely won't be getting the most value out of it. Okay, with all that being said then, who is it for? Well, I can identify 3 distinct groups that this pass is targeted towards and could be a good value. 1. People who live or work relatively close to one of the participating Dave & Buster's. For example, let's say you're an employee at one of the malls that's got this promotion going on. Being able to get lunch on the cheap and play some games during your break, the pass will pay for itself, especially if you start converting some of those tickets into Taste for Tickets coupons. 2. Parents of kids who enjoy going to Dave & Buster's. That's the category I find myself in, and after my visit with my daughter on Saturday, it definitely felt like it was paying off. Let's be honest, I can't always visit with the kids on a Wednesday when they have the half-price games going on. Going in on a Saturday and being able to play as much as we want, well, it felt good. Even with the limited amount of tickets, there's still enough small knickknacks in the winner's circle to send her home with a couple of toys or plushes. And that discount on the food ended up being surprisingly massive, especially with the $5 voucher stacking on top of the 30% discount and Taste for Tickets. 3. People who want to go out to Dave & Buster's and play as many games as they can on a weekly basis without worrying about maximizing their ticket value. Nothing against the redemption games, but sometimes folks just want to get together, play some NBA hoops, some air hockey, shoot some zombies in their stupid zombie faces, drift past Mario and Luigi while driving as a gigantic taiko drum, and so on. If you find yourself going to Dave & Buster's on a regular basis and reloading your power card at 100, 110, 115 a pop, this might be a good replacement for that. Any ticket gains would just be incidental, and although you can't spend the voucher or discount on alcohol, it'll get you a few bites to eat on a regular basis. Overall, is the $149.99 Platinum Pass worth it? For me, I think so. This is definitely going to get me out of the house with the family into our nearby Dave & Buster's on a more regular basis, and on top of that, it gives me an incentive to visit the other ones in the area that also accept the pass. There's a trade-off on the amount of tickets you receive, if that's important to you, but being able to play games all day, every day, for 15 weeks straight for just $149, it's a no-brainer. A single power card loaded with $100 worth of chips can be burned through in an afternoon, especially when you've got a family of 4. For $50 more than that, you're good to go as much as possible. Now, for others in a different situation, maybe the $99 Gold Pass will be more worth it. And for others, the $69 version could even be a great budget value in the right situation. I think the amount of gameplay and discounts that you can potentially get out of it will more than pay for itself upon repeated visits. At the moment, too, this isn't a recurring subscription. It's one flat price, paid in full, and you won't be charged a second time come March. Will they have a spring season pass at that point? Time will tell. The last thing I want to mention is that as we approach the holiday season, Dave & Buster's has a tendency to temporarily raise their chip prices per game. Let's say that the average game you play at D&B is about 7.5 chips per play. During the winter holiday season, that price could go up to 8.7 chips. You'll literally get less for your $100 in chips. So purchasing something like this winter season pass is a safeguard against future game inflation. The flat price that you pay up front isn't going up. So whether it's 7.5 or 8.7, you'll still get to play just as much today as you will on December 26th. That being said, the value of this pass does go down the later you wait to purchase it. Even now, you're getting 14 weeks of play instead of 15 if you had purchased it last week when it first came out. If you wait till December, then it's 13 weeks, and the average cost per week jumps up from $10 a week to $11.46. The last week that they're offering this pass for sale is on January 27th, and if you buy it at that point, you'd only be getting 5 weeks of unlimited gameplay, where then it comes out to $30 a week. And I'm not sure it would be worth it at that price point. That's something you'd have to make your own decision on. So, overall, that's my review of the new Dave & Buster's Platinum Winter Season Pass. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you agree or disagree with any of my points, or if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like because that really helps the engagement on this channel. And if you enjoy arcade content such as Dave & Buster's, Round 1, Chuck E. Cheese, and walkthroughs of other retro arcades, rhythm games, and pinball, please consider subscribing to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. I've been Christopher J, Sick Hands RBN, signing off for now, and I'll see you all next time.